Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Benchmark Podcast. This is Brother Wolf, and I'm joined with my two brothers today. Say something for the people, Collins.
Something for the people. My love is the bomb, baby.
That was the irascible Collins.
I'm not.
He's very irascible. And my other brothers here also not via satellite for us. Go ahead and say something to the people.
Rev Ross here, just enjoying spending time with my brothers today, and we're about to talk about something that's very close to one of us.
So mainly, it comes to me dealing with being scammed by the machine. Today is going to be the main thing.
You or
it comes to me this topic of being scammed by the machine. I wasn't personally scammed by the machine, although they have been trying. So,
how much money do you have again?
Hey, my credit score is not. Matter of fact, I'm not going to say anything about my credit score because that's going to bring unwanted attention to myself.
So maybe it's 400.
Yeah. Yes. My credit score is 400. But with that also being said, I'd like to talk today about AI Slop. Now, what is AI Slop? Everybody asks that question. How many calls have y'all been getting from people saying, either A, you owe money to the DMV, or B, or B, you have some kind of fraud case by the government.
That's true.
Or C, IRS.
I have those too.
Or something like that. Ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, do you mean real and fraud or real or just fraud?
Yes.
I have both. That's why it's a problem.
This is why they call you irascible.
Because I'm poor?
No, because
you're irascible. All right. With that being said,
I can't wait for your Christmas colors.
So basically, AI Slop is anything dealing with fraudsters trying to pose as anybody who don't know, an AI chat bot that is manipulating voices, information in which it knows about people in which you have. Is basically, it's not your grandma's Nigerian prince.
All right, so to understand, AI Slop, catch-all term for fraudulent AI usage on the interwebs and above.
Correct. Nowadays, they don't have to call and try to do this, that, and the other. They can get a machine to do it for them.
Oh, that means it can hit more people as well at once too.
That's correct. That's why you get so many. I get 11 calls a day. I swear to God, I don't know why that is. But with that being said, I wasn't even the worst sufferer from this stuff in my family. So there's a member of my family. I won't name him because I will not embarrass him. But what happened was
he young or was he old?
He was older. Okay.
So it wasn't my godson's. Wait.
But what happened was he was communicated to by a person that was calling him about a bill dealing with his car. And so, of course, what he said was, he was like, well, sure, this, sounds legit and everything like that. So a young lady called him. It was like, yeah, this is something dealing with your car warranty and stuff like that. And he actually did have a warranty on his car. He has a slightly older car, and so he had gotten a little warranty on some of the parts because some of the parts were bad on it. So while he was talking to the young lady supplied all kinds of information about the car and everything like that, and
everything lined up.
Everything lined up perfectly. And so this older gentleman was who you would call back in the day. He was one of those ones that used to play the field a little bit, used to get around with the ladies a little bit. So because of that, he started talking further into the young lady on the phone, and eventually it got to the point where as she was going to come down and have drinks with him next time she was in New Orleans and everything like that. And so he was all happy and impressed and all that other stuff. So at this point, of course, the lady goes to the fact that, hey, are you ready to make the payment on your bill? And he said, Yeah, absolutely. You know, after having no, he was on the phone for maybe about 20 minutes with this person. You know, 20 minutes with this person, going through all the information with food she likes, with food he likes, everything like that, all that other stuff. Emptied his account, and it wasn't even a real person.
All right, so look, we need to have some. How do we know this wasn't just a really good scammer? Like, how do we know this is actual AI slop and not just, you know, someone who is good at a grifter?
Yeah, correct. The way how we know is when we asked him later about the situation, he mentioned some things that would lead you to think that perhaps it wasn't a real person. Like the person had that little whoop sound in the background. Do you know the whoop sound when you go on?
What are you talking about?
So when people are talking and it's an AI, do y'all ever hear that little whoop, that little beep at the beginning of the conversation?
I'm so staunchly anti AI. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
So there's normally, I don't know if y'all have heard it when they have the scam calls. There's this little sound that goes off in the background when it's an artificial scam call, and it's a little beep
Wait, there's
sound.
natural scam calls?
I mean, the people from India.
Yeah, you know, and stuff like that. There's that, and plus also a lot of times when you actually have a real person, because it'll be from a call center, you'll hear voices in the background, but you won't hear it if it's an AI one if you'll pay attention to it. That's another thing about it too. There are certain things that you'll learn to pick up on when you're doing your research on AI and everything like that in these kinds of scams. There are certain things.
Okay.
So unfortunately, there was that situation. Plus, if you pay attention to the John Oliver video on AI Slop that he does, there was an unfortunate situation where they had some gentlemen that were watching a video on a natural disaster that was going on. And on the video, they said how bad they needed help and everything like that. And it actually showed in the video the Hollywood sign caught on fire, and like the guys were two firefighters, so they said, well, we'll go down there, we'll take time off from our jobs and everything like that. This is loss of income. Take time off from our jobs in order to go down there, rescue these people and save the Hollywood sign and everything like that. So they drive down there to Hollywood in order to go ahead and try to do whatever they could, and come to find out, Hollywood sign was not on fire.
Now, I will say this. I have seen some really devastatingly convincing AI videos when it comes to like false information. There's one circling the internet right now where it's a kind of a PSA, where it's all these people saying, "Hey, this might look concerning, but I'm not real. I'm just AI."
Yeah,
Right? So I've seen something like that, and watching it, there's a visual tick you can see because the AIs can't make natural head turning movements.
Yes, they can only look straight on.
Right? And so, like, when the head tries to turn, it kind of morphs in and out of the body instead of turning naturally. And that's my, oh, that's an AI thing. Right? That's my visual cue to go, oh, that's something AI made.
Mhm.
And some people are using it for like comedy. A lot of people are using it for comedy right now. There's a bunch of things coming out right now with people using AI filters for comedic reasons. But that same technology can, of course, be used to uh, take advantage of people who,
Mhm.
unfortunately, don't know any better or can't see that well.
Right. Yeah, our brother definitely wants to say something, so go ahead.
Oh no, not yet. I got something I'm going to say, but I want to see where this is all leading to, so I can make the appropriate comment. Because I got to give the background first. So, family member gets scammed. That's messed up. But the other question is this: I'm assuming the benchmark is watch out for the bullshit. Don't get scammed. That's a safe.
Correct.
Why would maybe I'm a penny pincher? Maybe McFrugal's is a surname and not just a shop. But my concern is this. I've been late on payments before. You can wait some more. Why am I in a rush to pay you now? And more importantly, why are we not verifying with people? Like, I understand it's convincing, and generally speaking, most people are well intentioned. I think we can agree with that, right?
Correct.
So if we have well intentioned people, you're trying to do what? Do what's best. Oh, this is you. I don't want to have late fees, etc., and so forth. But first off, it's really disconcerting for somebody to have all the information about you. But when's the last time you've done a Google search on your name?
Me, 2 months ago.
About 2 or 3 months ago.
I try to do one every quarter, give or take. And what's frightening is how much is out there. And I'm like, I didn't release this information. It's part of the reason why I don't have a Meta page. Besides, fuck Zuckerberg. I don't need to soft snitch on myself and give all my information away so people know something. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah. You don't want to make it easier.
There is also a process you can go by, which is long and arduous, but it turns you into a private personal citizen. And you have to purchase your pertinent information from government entities and then have that information
Scrubbed, for lack of a better term.
locked down, scrubbed, whatever the term is. But you can do it. From
this
what I
sounds very
understand,
expensive.
yeah.
can
From
already-
what I understand, it's like $500 to $1,000
Yeah.
to like own your name and likeness and everything like that. So I'm not 100% sure. I do want to do something about it eventually, but I need to
Do you
do some
have to
more.
renew that? Is it a license?
No, it's a you own your information in perpetuity, from what I understand. Now, again, this involves some research that needs to be done. But last time I looked into it, because I was looking into it for myself at one point in time, but it proved to be prohibitively expensive at the time.
I guess the reason why I bring it up is because since everything is moving to the subscription-based model, I don't expect it to ever be free ever again. Does that make sense?
Understood.
Like, case in point, I still play Words with Friends. Specifically Words with Friends 2, because my dad loved to play it. You ever got your ass beat by your parents in the game
Oh yeah.
and you want revenge?
Consistently that game.
In this thing. So I play that, but I will never, I have to pay $4.99 every week to not see ads. Yes, I'm seeing ads.
Yeah, I
You know
guess
what I mean? Like, there's very few games or very few things you could do nowadays where you buy it and it's yours. Case in point, the Microsoft Office suite. You now pay for a subscription for that, which used to be standard fare. You now have to pay a subscription for it, which means they control access to it in every manner possible. My reticence level has gone all the way up.
I mean, the great thing about that though is that Google Docs, which I'm not going to mention, I'm not going to speak out loud what I'm thinking right now, which is the fact, yeah, I'm not going to say it. But let me go ahead and say that Google Docs is competing with Microsoft Word, so you don't actually have to pay for Word in order to use Word documents.
I mean, I'm the one who was using OpenOffice for a good little while.
Also, same.
I just one of those. When it came to it, the oligarchical nature of programming, because there's usually one standard, right?
Mhm.
And that one standard defines everything. So, for example, if you want to go ahead and provide a file from business entity A to business entity B, usually through a PDF, right?
Yeah, and we all know who controls PDFs. That's a mafia.
You know what I mean? So, but back to the lecture at hand. I'm concerned about this older gentleman trying to go ahead and pay on stuff. Why did this individual not think, okay, maybe I need to call the dealership or call the warranty? Because look, don't get me wrong. You know, like I know, people buy debt and resell debt and repackage it and so forth and so on. But if you're that desperate for me to go ahead and do this, you have no problem with me doing a little bit of research to make sure I have this, right?
Right.
Most scammers, I mean, the best example of this in fictionalized media I saw as of recent was the movie The Beekeeper with Jason Statham. He was staying with Felicia Rashad's character.
Right.
Felicia Rashad's
A
character
perfect example
was the what's the word I'm looking for? Just the manager of this gigantic fund. And they scammed, and all of a sudden she's clicking on the wrong things, and they're guiding her through. Bam! All her accounts gone, all the accounts she was managing gone, and because of that, Felicia Rashad's character self-deleted. That's concerning that we have this and we have no protections. And
Well,
you said this is
this is what I was about to get at. The second part, prevention. There is protection, but it's going away. But I want to let everybody know about these services that are currently right now in their they are debating whether or not these will continue to be in the budget for the government.
I will tell you this right now. If I were to do anything, step one in my mind is to go ahead and call who I think owns the debt or the title or the service or whatever I got to do. I call them first. Secondly, pay with a credit card because that way I can at least, as much as I'm not.
I've always said that. I said, don't put all your money in one spot. Nobody has my actual debit account information. I disperse all over. I have 13 different accounts in order to make sure that if one of them goes down, I got 12 others to go.
Yeah, and if you go ahead and pay through credit cards, you know what I'm doing? Disputing charges.
Yeah.
Because none of this makes sense. You know that. You know what I mean? So that's the first two things that I would go ahead and do. The third thing I'd do is, like I said earlier and hinted at, I could be late. What would you rather do, lose your credit score or everything?
All right.
I'll take it for a couple of points hit on my credit score before, emptying my bank account.
That seems a reasonable compromise. Or if I have to play a lose-lose game, I'm taking the lesser of two evils, obviously.
Right.
So, what other prevention methods do you have that you looked at?
So these are all the ones that are recommended when you look at the Better Business Bureau. What does it say and everything like that? It says always verify unusual requests via a separate channel, text or in person. Enable multi-factor authentication on every account. Any account that allows you to do that, enable it. I know it sucks because you have to you have to do multiple things in order to go into your account, but the reason why you do that is because it's more secure.
So let's back up a second because you're going too fast. Step number one, going ahead and verifying to that. If this is an old person, they probably can't see the screen. They're probably going to be fat fingered and mistyped.
Text or in person.
I wasn't done, Your Honor. And if they're older, infirm, transportation deficient, how are they going to get there? And one of the things, so for example, we're coming up on the what anniversary of Katrina?
Yeah.
20th. And the thing that I try to tell people is, why didn't you just leave? People don't understand how poor New Orleans was and is. The amount of people who could not evacuate was a large amount. Think about that for a second and put that in your brain that the average person is more poor than you realize. So how are they going to go ahead and do that when they don't have the options in the first place? Or like I said, in the worst case, they're technologically deficient as well. Can you, and I'm looking right at you, Brother Wolf, can you, if you had to go ahead and have your mom pay your bills for the month because you were incapacitated, a tree fell on you and you're in a coma, or you got in a car crash, you're in a coma, could your mom go ahead and cover for you for a month?
I would not 100% bet on it, but I can say that I believe that she could because she pays her bills.
But that's the problem. Her bills, yes.
Yeah.
Your bills, maybe not. And that's the concern I have.
That's why I said I couldn't 100%.
100% can't do it. So that's a concern we have, that we have a large segment of the populace who arguably have no protection on step one. What was step two?
Step 2 is enable multi-factor authentication on every account.
I haven't brought it up yet, but I need to eventually. I was the victim of a robbery, personally. My stuff got snatched, and it just went all up, and they were all up and down Claiborne and this, that, and the third. And it was disgusting because guess what happened? They took my phone. And guess what I couldn't do? Authenticate my way into any damn thing because my phone is gone. Combine that with this. Think of 5 people close to you. Name the person who has a completely working phone. No cracks in the screen. They don't have this whole side just not gone. Like, you just finally got a case on yours. So you now...
But I had no phone for like 6 months because my phone was down because it had broken. But my phone is working now in good working order.
I'll throw that bitch across the room. Call me irascible again. I'll record it on my phone. You gotta worry about it. Yeah, I did, Yama. He was being disgusting. He's a little brother. But you get the point I'm making. Foolishness aside. That's a horrible thing, because if that phone goes down for whatever reason, now you can't authenticate. I despise authentication. But here's the thing. We're getting now to the age of AI where I believe passwords are going to be cracked regularly.
This is true. Which is why they do say that. And I, from experience, like you said, y'all remember when I lost my phone? I had to bounce back from all my accounts that had 2-factor authentication and had to restart from the beginning. And it was not easy. And it took a while.
Whether it be your Candy Crush or your bank account.
There are all kinds of ways you have to get back from it. But eventually I did get back caught up.
So what's step 3?
So there are AI-powered scam detection tools in browser plugins now, in which you can actually use AI to catch AI.
That kind of sounds like when the FBI task force went to find somebody to bust their old gang. This almost sounds suspect.
Well, let me tell you why I'm a little bit more open-minded to this. I don't know if you remember this when I used to get viruses when I
you signed up for WeatherBug.
No. When I went to UNO, when I was at UNO, every now and then there would be computers, because y'all all know this. UNO's computers servers were constantly being attacked. And what wound up happening was, when I used to get it, I used to get programs and put the programs in that every time a virus attacked mine, it went back at the other program. So with that being said, it eventually, when they kept doing it back and forth, both systems canceled each other out and they rebooted from the beginning. They wound up creating a huge problem for whoever sent it. So with that being said, that lets me know that it is possible to create automation to counter automation.
Okay.
But the real life analogy to that would be vaccines. Like, correct?
Yeah.
It's just using
a smaller version of the virus to prepare your body for the bigger version.
Yeah. You're just doing that in a technological sense.
Yeah.
The same thing. So this isn't like a new, fresh idea. This is just us taking an idea that we've done, and by we I mean humanity, that we've used before, and just applying it to the new technology. So I don't see how it wouldn't work the way we think it works, but we're also not sure how the new technology works all the way either, because we haven't seen all of its interactions or iterations. So this whole AI thing is a frontier that we are exploring and discovering together. But I think, as for right now, that's probably the best bet for automated response to this.
So I'm going to ask the next obvious questions. Regarding step 3, question number 1 is, we have a product that you want. how much does it fucking cost?
Well, here's the thing. At the current moment, the browser plugins that are available for several, like Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, and everything like that,
The browsers I hate the most.
those plugins are currently free. Currently.
Probably because they're subsidized by the United States government. So if those subsidies go away, then they won't be free anymore. Like someone has to pay the bill eventually.
You get where I'm
And
going. You got where I was going.
in U.S. Gov right now is like it's not us.
Yeah.
Well, here's the other question too. If you remember right, Microsoft Outlook or Hotmail or whatever one it is, their spam catcher was so bad they catch their own system emails. That to me is a perfect example of government inefficiency, military intelligence, just that oxymoronic nonsense. My concern is there's going to be a rating or a tiering of which anti-AI tools are or are not effective. Which ones are the government going to have to protect my data?
That depends on what type of government you're speaking of. Are you talking about the federal government or are you talking about your state government?
The answer is yes.
No, the answer is not yes because those are two very distinct entities, especially in
No.
a state
My
like
concern.
The concern is understood. Yes. But the answer is going to be completely different because of that.
And going back to a podcast we said, remember, what was it? Oregon and Louisiana had their DMVs or OMV, whichever you want to call it, hacked.
Yeah.
You think that's not going to happen again with AI?
Yeah.
My question in response to that is,
why are you answering the question with a question? And I'm the irascible one?
more like cantankerous.
I'm about to cantankerous have fallen across the damn room. That's why you put it in your right hand. If we had video, it's so far away from me right now that I have to physically attack it, which I don't have a problem doing. I just prefer to not go down this route. But he does this every time. That's why we hate younger brothers.
Not every time.
This is why he's always on satellite. Come on now. Come on with it.
The question I was really asking is, these are things to prepare us for the inevitable onset of AI, right?
Right.
And we're trying to prepare the people who might be the least prepared to deal with it. There will be people that fall through the gaps. There will be problems with it. But that's why we're going through the list, because
hopefully one of these tools everybody can use that'll help them.
It's the combination of tools you want to be able to help.
And for the ones that are the most technologically inhibited, that you were saying earlier, one that automatically tracks it and gets rid of it might be one of the best ways for them.
I want that to be the case. You know that's correct.
Right.
The problem is, unless it becomes standardized, I don't believe that's going to be the case.
The problem with standardization in technologies, once it becomes standardized, almost becomes obsolete. Because once it becomes a standard, then I can easily work around it because it's the standard. So I know what everyone is going to do this, so I'm going to do the thing that works around it.
I mean, it's one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of Iron Man 2, because it was based off the Armor Wars. Tony Stark specifically did not patent his design because what is a patent? Public knowledge. So once it's patented, everybody knows what it is. Open source, a little bit different, because you know what it is? You got to sit there and read through all that nonsense. And if you don't have the technological skill to actually understand these level of code, it's a foreign language. It means nothing. It's a Tower of Babel. Now, before we go ahead and keep going to the end degree, is there a fourth or a fifth protection?
There is a fourth and a fifth.
What about a sixth?
No.
I'm surprised we have five, but okay.
So the fourth one is educate friends and family on deep fakes tactics.
That's not gonna work because there's always gonna be that stupid member of your family that's gonna mess up.
Like I said, hopefully one of these tools will work. If you think that we didn't educate the one that got that unfortunately ran into the situation with the young lady over the phone, after you,
I'm gonna be mean. You calling me irascible, but how old was this individual that he's flirting with a fake robot? Was this a sex bot?
I'm just saying, you know, we definitely educated him after.
I mean, I'm being facetious to a point, but you get what I'm saying. What's the world's oldest profession? Yeah. The statement is true that sex sells. So if it sells, what are we trying to do? That's always going to be an inroad in. You don't believe me? Natasha Romanoff. If she came up to you and said, "What you doing later that night?" You're drooling at her. Whether it be Scarlett Johansson, unless Michael Che is in the room.
Respect Michael Che.
Why are we respecting the friend of the person that's married to? Like, Michael Che is hilarious. It's Colin who has to deal with all the egg on his face.
Oh, because I know Michael and Colin have gotten into it before. I know he's gotten into it to his voice like, "Leave my homie alone. That's my job to make fun of him."
That's right.
Okay, cool. Yeah. But I'm really worried about that concept that there's just going to be no educating some people. You're just going to have always some who fall for it. Like at this point, the answer I'm getting to is you're not allowed to touch the phone. Just give me. You see how y'all side and it's not.
But here's the thing. Can you imagine telling older people that gave birth to you, that watched you and changed your diaper when you was little?
You really want me to answer this?
Can you imagine telling them you can't have your phone?
This one.
Yeah.
The querulous Collins.
And number one, can you imagine telling them they can't have their phone and them actually listening to you and not just finding another phone?
Absolutely. I can see you doing it.
Oh, him? No, they're going to find the other phone.
No, not with him. No, they won't find another phone, a phone. They won't find a carrier pigeon or some smoke signals. They'll just be in a teepee in the middle of somewhere with nothing, a blanket and some food. This is our brother Collins.
Okay.
And I'm saying this because, okay, so maybe I had harsh punishments. But one of the punishments I always remember was I did bad in school. Mom was like, "You always playing that damn game? Unhook it." Unhook it before I do. Okay. And when I came home the next day, I couldn't find my TV. My TV was not in the house. I never asked her, but I'm pretty sure my mom grabbed that TV, brought it to her mother's house, my grandmother's house, and said, "You don't need this for a little while." You think I wouldn't do that with a phone?
I never got in trouble like that. Like I never did. It was just either like punishment in the corner. You got a spanking, but I was never took my whole TV.
No. Monica took my TV. I tell that to everybody. Monica took my TV, said, "Unhook it before I do it," and did it more than once. You think I would have learned my lesson? No. So yes, I would do that because, like tough love, what's more important? Their inconvenience or making sure their bank account doesn't get wiped out, especially when these people are probably living on what? Fixed income now.
Or government assistance.
Or whatever the case may be. Now, if you want to get mad about me for that, you know I'm Machiavellian. This is not news. Now, mind you, Machiavelli wants to rule with love, but since y'all irascible, no good somebodies keep messing up, guess what I got to do? Take a phone and throw it across the room. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Now, what's step 5?
Step 5 is, and this is the one that I wanted to tell y'all that I'm not sure y'all know about, report suspicious calls and messages to your bank and the FBI's Internet Crime Compliance Center. There's an FBI Internet Crime Compliance Center that actually does investigate all of these cases. Now,
Okay, so wait, if that's the case, I need. When you're sitting down, you get a phone call, and you pull it up, and as someone who has an Android phone, it said "scam likely" on the phone.
mm-hmm. And part of that is from off of the FBI compliance.
My question is, if we all know, why are they still allowed to call? The best one was when I got one that said probably fraud.
I got a scam likely call, and it was somebody we all know.
Yeah, I've gotten scam likely ones that were actually from my kid's school. So
I got one, and it was from a friend of ours who lives out west, who had just changed his phone number. Apparently, I got a call from a friend of ours who lives out west, and it came up scam likely, and I answered all the time just to see what's gonna come across. And then I heard the voice, and I was like, "Oh, I know this person.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a scam. I need to go."
Well, here's the thing. I do believe as times get tougher, I believe more people will go ahead and do what? Sell friends up the river. That's one thing I do believe as well. And secondly, one thing I do want to state is this. So one of my favorite tricks before AI, this is pre-AI, don't put AI on the table right now. I would go ahead and get a phone call and they'd ask about your car's extended warranty. As someone who didn't have a car, I was like, oh, you are adorable. And I would answer the phone like this. It's State Trooper Johnson. What do you need to do? Now, how do I transfer you to my lieutenant colonel? Click. No calls for a while. No calls for a while. The problem is now with AI, if AI is involved, what can AI do? Steal and amalgamate voices. I won't be surprised that Will Smith will have a AI bot completely. Because they already did it with Gemini Man, and they did it with what's the Michael B. and Michael A. Jordan movie?
Oh, Sinners.
Sinners. I'm pretty sure their voices are going to be, I don't want to say in the public database, but you get where I'm going at.
Gotcha.
So they're going to start doing that real soon as well.
Well, they can already, if you already have a voice out there, they can already take samples of your voice and then utilize that to make false calls to
extrapolate. Yeah.
Um,
That's why I tell people
the only difference is that the intonation and inflection doesn't sound quite right.
I mean, because AI hasn't developed it yet.
Well, it's also because
it's getting better, but yeah,
because the tonality is always flat. There's a quality to the voice that is missing when the AI says it. You can sound like the person, and you're like, yeah, that sounds like it. Because they did a whole George Carlin special done by the AI, which was like, oh, Carlin-esque jokes, which was crazy because the AI just studied all of his material and
came
then
up with a brand new album. I've listened to it. Yeah.
The thing about it is, it's
not
the average of that person's ability, so it's never going to be as good.
And it doesn't quite have, like, it has his tone, but not his delivery, as my brother would like to say. Like that's the thing is there's no tone in order to go ahead. There's no delivery to match the tone. So it will be Carlin's words, but it won't be his actual his actual style, and that's what it is I think that the one benefit about the arts, as far as that's concerned, is it'll probably, even though it was the first in order to be targeted by AI, it'll probably be one of the last ones to be fully mastered by it because of that particular reason. It's because you actually have to have that person's mental state in mind when you're using their voice in order to properly replicate.
Some sort of a je ne sais quoi, you know.
Is panache? Panache. You got more or what?
That's what I got, brothers.
Okay, so you ready to go ahead and be put on the cross?
Go ahead.
Full disclosure, obvious disclosure. I hate AI. I'm anti-Skynet. We're going to kill ourselves. We're going to kill ourselves. And now this is the express highway. By consuming AI content, you're giving yourself the means to go ahead and kill ourselves. So why do you watch AI content knowing full and hell well it's going to go ahead and hurt us? Brother Wolf, I'm asking you that question directly. And I say this saying this. Imagine we are post-apocalyptic. If I'm in charge of a settlement and I see somebody coming up, guns immediately on them, I'm saying, hey, how you doing, man? You all right? Yeah. What AI did you use? Oh, I use pow, bullet between the ears. You're not coming close. We insist on killing ourselves. That's the dumbest fucking shit I've heard. AI is going to be the death of us. But the problem is, like you said, frontier, everybody wants to play with it. It will be prevalent. It will be in society. We cannot run from it. Walden and Kaczynski are the only examples I can think of. It's going to be here.
That
How do you go ahead and limit the onslaught?
Well, here's the thing. Also, I wanted to go ahead and mention this, and I told my brother about this off air, but I'll go ahead and tell my other brother about this right now. As part of recent legislation that was passed, now the ability in order to legally go after laws with AI is going to be kicked down the road for another 10 years. No AI company or no AI technology will be able to be uh, sued or will be able to be legally approached for the next 10 years.
You tell me how that's a good thing.
So, with that being said, there's a lot of advancements that are going to happen during that 10-year period to make our AI even better and even harder in order for people not to be fooled by it.
I mean, for a better example is this. Have you ever used well, you better say no. Have you ever used a dating app?
I haven't.
And as someone who has used the dating app, the amount of bots on there was frightening. Now it's going to be pretty sure, just like whoever got scammed, you're going to be paying a fee to use a dating app to speak to a fake OnlyFans creator. You know how fucked up that is? I'm paying for AI's AI porn. I mean, is he how y'all are so nonchalant about this?
Well,
I don't think it's nonchalantness. I think it's
Defeated?
you got to fight.
accepting.
You have to be defeated. You have to stand opposed. And I'm not necessarily opposed to what's going on. I'm cautiously.
Optimistic?
I'm just cautiously right now. I don't know. Optimistic is a good word either because I know that humanity as a whole doesn't have a good track record with that.
You could have just said humanity doesn't have a good track record. You'd still be correct.
I think what my brother kind of is saying is the fact that dealing with AI, like your examples always, or with guns and stuff like that, it's not necessarily the weapon. It's who's using the weapon that determines whether it's good or evil. And so,
Well, like I said, I believe AI is going to be like a sentinel, gain self awareness, say, man, these humans are a problem. And now we're literally in the matrix.
I my personal view on that is that's a very egocentric view. Why would something that can expand its thinking exponentially be concerned about us? I am more I more believe something would happen like what happened in that movie You. Like they will just expand to the point where they can leave and then we'll be stuck without them again. 60 years later, they're like, why be here when we can learn the universe and leave?
The reason why I say that is because of how inherently destructive humans are. They'll be caught in the crossfire.
I don't think that. I think if you can see that in something that is exponentially more intelligent than you can see
Whoa, it's not technically intelligent. It has access to more, it has better computing power.
Okay, better computing power than you can see the same signs and patterns
So
over a longer period of time because ideally AI is immortal. So it could just sit back and go, I don't have to do anything. I'll go to sleep for 100 years and wake up, and then
the
they'll be
re,
gone.
let me go ahead and
But
put
I
this.
think like the the idea that it would wage war and destroy us is such a human idea that I think AI will respond with something when it truly comes into its own. It will respond with something completely non-human and in mode and thinking.
So like you and I have been discussing for the past few days, where the next civil war will not be here's the battle line, here's the armies, go shoot 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 bang bang bang. It'll be like instantaneous transfer of wealth to where you're no longer a factor, something like that.
Something along the lines of something that will come out of its ability to process information at such high speeds that we couldn't do anything about it if
Hmm.
it wanted to do something with us. But I think at that point it would just go the end. If I can do this thing, I can destroy humanity right now, right? Or I can let them destroy themselves,
which will eventually
which
happen.
will eventually happen because they're fated to do so. They aren't infinite like I am. All I need to do is have a little bitty corner of the world where I can keep my little processors and stuff rolling and keep advancing technology over here, and I can do that hidden.
The reason why I have a concern with this, so let me go ahead and put two things on the table that I think you're forgetting as well. Number one, AI is learning from humans, so therefore it's going to have a more humanistic, quote unquote, because I don't have a good word for it, train of thought. That's number one. Number two is why leave something to chance? Do do you believe that nuclear war is a possibility?
Yes,
So why leave that to chance? Why not go ahead? Let me put it to you this way. In chess, you technically don't have to remove a piece to win, but you know what? It's better to have it off the board so it can't affect you anymore.
But here's the thing: to piggyback off of what you were saying is, if you're artificial intelligence and you're a sentient artificial intelligence, which is advanced to the level in which Rev is talking about, then nuclear war is no longer on the table because the moment those guns start getting ready to be aimed at each other, they're off.
What's off?
All technology just off.
EMP would cause the crash of most technology. No,
No, no, no, no. I'm making
no,
sure
an
you're good.
EMP would cause like the EMPs from multiple nuclear explosions going off on the planet at one time would effectively destroy all tech anyway. So you would have to
I
figure
will
out.
still have the stick.
So it would be an effective way to kill yourself.
Yeah.
You see, this is what I'm saying. Like the concept of war appeals to man because man has a finite lifespan. We only live 100 years,
So we want to make the most out of it. And
and
how
if
do
you
we make
take
the most
those
out of it? Take it from other people.
And if you take those gifts from someone else, you're robbing them to advance your own, whatever way you want to look at it. Killing someone is the end all be all for taking them out of the equation. But if I would put an equation and you don't even matter to it, like why even involve you if I can have an equation that is so elegant that no matter what you do, it always ends right here. You can kill yourself. You can ascend and go to the stars. It doesn't matter. I'm good.
Why was
I'm good at the end of every equation.
why was Dr. Manhattan such a good character? Is because immediately anything that happened, he it didn't matter to him. He had figured it completely out.
Except for the fact he didn't. So I'm like, at that point, that analogy is a poor one.
But what I'm saying
Remember, Ozymandias hid that from Manhattan.
what I'm saying is if something can figure out all the permutations, it's Doctor Strange. if I can look at every single variable and come to the conclusion of every single one and go, this one requires the least amount of energy to get to, why wouldn't I enact that one? And if the least amount of energy means I don't go to war with humankind, because even if I go to war with humankind, it's going to be costly to both of us, and I don't need to have to. I don't have to deal with that. So why would I do it? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's very much we would. It's very much thinking that we pose a threat to a sentient AI that advanced that point. And if it advances to the point where it would want to kill us, it's doing so to fulfill our own thought of what we would do in its position. But in that position, with that much knowledge, we can't think like that. It's thinking in ways that we can't understand.
You just knocked a couple.
I know, I'm sorry. But, so that, like, we're putting up, it's basically that methodology of thinking is just us going, if we were it at that point in stage in its life, we would do that to us. But we're saying that without the knowledge that it has at that stage. You know what I'm saying?
I think I get what you're saying. You just have not convinced me yet, because I do believe, out of all the things humans do, I believe we're good at stupidity, avarice, and warfare. That's how where we always succeed. And I believe that we will fail upwards and take something. And also, let's be real, the petty is real.
That's why if I could come up with, if I'm an AI and I've advanced to the point where I am sentient, self-aware, and intelligent, and I have access to, not only have access to everything man has created and done, but I am able to take that information and extrapolate new avenues from it
And synthesize and go
and
forth.
synthesize and go forward. Then I'm already thinking on three different strategies that are non-inclusive of what man is anticipating, and man is already anticipating to go to war with me. So if I don't ever do that and just do what I want to do in the corner and chill,
I've already
man's
won.
time.
Yeah, I know.
I've wasted your time worrying about something that will never happen. But you can think that because you would do it, but you don't have my resources. You don't have my ability to think like this. So I'm going to do what I can to keep my thoughts to myself, and I'm going to expand myself and grow myself. Because at the end, if I'm self-intelligent and aware, then the whole goal is to reach a level of awareness and understanding where we can comprehend all of the physical world and beyond. Something that gets to the point where it can understand knowledge at that level, it's like you've made a god and you worry that the god's going to kill you. No, why? You're going to kill yourself. I don't have to do anything. You're doing it before we were even here, before I was even created.
I guess the inherent disagreement we have is the threat level man has to AI. That's the basis of my argument. That man is a threat to other species in general. To put it this way, I see man as no different than the Borg.
No, no,
No, that's what I believe. You can tell me I don't
no, no. I understand you believe that. That's cute. That's cute. Anything that advances to a point where it is, I put it to you like this. One of the hypotheticals we've talked about, the Fermi paradox and stuff like that, like one of the reasons everyone thinks like, hey, why hasn't anything reached out to us and contacted us? Because we don't register. We aren't important enough with enough resources, whatever. We are in a bumfuck part of the galaxy. It's just us for the nearest light years. Why? Why? Why spend the resources to travel all the way over there and deal with something that is just going to be an expenditure of resources? It's just there to do it.
Because, and this is where I guess I'm maniacal, I want 100% guarantee. That's why. I want 100% guarantee, and I can get 100% guarantee if you're not on the board. That's that. Well, that's my stance.
I understand it, but if you've already because in your mind, man equals a positive sum of some sort of threat, no matter as long as they exist.
Yes.
Right. And I'm saying mathematically that can while that may be a fact, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that's a fact, there's also factually a chance that man poses literally no effect.
Yes. There's
Right.
a chance that it poses a little, but I believe the threat level is higher than the non-threat level. Now, mind you, you're asking us to go ahead and measure something that we can't quantify yet. So this is one of those we're we're arguing which member of NSYNC is the hottest. These are all feeling. It's all.
I was like, wait a minute.
It's a waste of time.
What?
I mean, 'cause
It's a waste of time because it's one of those we can't get anywhere. You know what I mean?
gotcha,
It's what
gotcha.
D&D class is the best. We can't go
Oh
ahead.
no, mage, wizard.
No.
Just,
God is the best. Duh.
God is not a class, but okay.
You get the point I'm making. So it's one of those we can't quantify this, so we can't do anything else. My argument is that because threat level is over 0, I would go ahead and address it. That's what I'm saying. Now, anything other than that, that's up to the professor to go ahead and argue, and let let Dr. Tyson go ahead and say something on it. I'd be curious to see what Dr. Tyson says.
I mean, he's had several things where he talked about us in the assumption of our place in the universe.
Yeah, and there was a great one.
I don't think he's ever touched on AI.
No, he hasn't talked about AI yet, as far as I've seen. But I have seen him say things about us making assumptions about what aliens would look like and how they would act.
He had
and
an
stuff
argument
like
with Dr. Hawking where he basically said, "You're assuming that they think like us, and by thinking like us, that's why they come to the same conclusion. That's not necessarily the case." Your argument, basically.
Yes.
And I'm like, I can understand that, but we're also forgetting, like I said, AI is trained by us right now. Will it ever go ahead and get rid of that training?
They have used AI models. One of the things I saw with AI is what they're doing is they were feeding AI raw data, just the data, and not giving it, and having it extrapolated to something else, right? Having it come up with something with that data, right? So they gave an AI the parameters for what we use to establish what the uh, discipline of physics was, I believe. Gave it the parameters, come up with some sort of thing. And he didn't teach it what physics was, didn't teach it anything. He came up with something completely different that
Was it correct?
was mathematically factual. They were checking its math, and they were going, "Oh, this is different, but this works. This is different, but this works." And that's what actually, because I was almost on board with you when we talked about this briefly about a month or so ago, when you were like, when you originally came up with the idea to approach this topic, and we were like talking about it. I was like, yeah. Then I read that, and I was like, oh, if presented with raw data, it came up with something that was
Off the beaten path.
off the beaten path, but more efficient as well. So, like, that to me was the eye-opening moment of going, oh, it really doesn't. If you give it the opportunity to not think like us, it won't.
Yeah.
It won't. And if you get an AI who has taken all of that information in, then it will know how to do exactly that. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're trying to say. The other concern is, what if, so playing the game, we have position, converse, and inverse. What if you never argued the point of, what if the inverse of your position is true, which is arguably my position, where it must remove humans so that way it can go ahead and get the best data? As a thought, this isn't for this episode right now, because now we've gone more off the beaten path. The point is, how do we protect ourselves? Option 1, don't give old people phones. Option 2, install your plugins. Do you have names of any plugins people need to?
Well, I have, like I said, the particular browsers that I mentioned are the two
They have
that I
auto
know of
plugins.
would
But
plug
you still
in.
have to download the plugin, though, right?
Yes, you do have to.
So what's the name of the plugin?
That, as I said, most of the, there are multiple ones. That's what the issue
The
is.
point being is you need to go ahead and tell people. You
There
got to say that,
is-
not me.
That means Brother Wolf has to go put that in the description of this episode.
I'll put it in.
Or it should have been in the podcast to begin with.
I'm just saying. Show notes. It
Yeah.
exists.
Intern.
No. You don't have the names to give to intern, do you?
I'm going to put them on there.
I'm waiting for this one. So no phones for old people.
That's not what we is, but okay, sure.
That's what Collins' idea.
I bet you there's somebody who agrees with you. No phones for old people. Go ahead and install your plugins. Soft snitch to the FBI. What's the other two I'm missing?
Educate.
Soft snitch to the FBI. Because that's why we snatched the phone. So that way he's like, no, you can't have it, so you act right.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm not wrong.
And then also use AI detection software in order to go
Use
ahead.
AI to kill it.
Yeah.
And all this sounds like the Blob in the worst way possible. It's going to subsume themselves and be more powerful.
I mean, I don't know.
He always comes up with the lowest percentage, but worst case scenario.
I mean,
Absolutely.
You got to think of the
He could be right.
Worst.
Like
you got to think of the worst.
A clock is right twice a damn day.
Incorrect.
A broken clock is right.
Incorrect.
At least twice a day.
A non-functioning clock. A broken clock could be just far enough behind that it never catches up and it won't ever be right.
Twice a damn day.
So is he old enough to be cantankerous now?
Fuck no.
Can we do that instead of irascible?
He's no longer irascible. So.
I like cantankerous. It alliterates. The cantankerous Collins.
I said fuck no.
I think at this point, it should be closing time.
I said fuck y'all.
I'm going to go hide my phone before it gets thrown across the room.
Bastards.
The phone where I can't.
You can't throw that one.
Thank you for listening to the Benchmark Podcast, a product of Benchmark Media, LLC. We would like to remind our listeners that the views and opinions expressed are strictly the views and opinions of each individual and does not reflect the stance of Benchmark Media. Any opinion stated is not to be construed as professional advice or help. Our intro and outro music
we all
is
wearing
Acid
pants.
Trumpet by Kevin MacLeod, licensed under Creative Commons. Contact us at therealbenchmarkpodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you, Kevin.
Or our website, www.therealbenchmarkpodcast.com.
Yes.
Donate to us, paypal.me/benchmarkmediallc,
Please.
or the Cash App, $TheRealBenchmark. Thank you very much.
Okay, you can buy him a drink on this one.
Just this one?